call the roll.
Trustee Costa?
Present.
Trustee Caprio?
Present.
Trustee Rogers? Present. Trustee Suisse? Present. Trustee Varian?
Present.
Mayor Yukich?
Present. Okay. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I would like to table the minutes of E, the minutes from December 14th.
Okay. So she's making a motion, so I need a second.
Also table.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay. So, all in favor? Aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. It goes off now. Okay. We'll do the reports and communications from mayor and other officers. I don't think the mic's going to work. I'm sorry.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
They're there.
Oh, yes.
Push them, put them.
All right. Okay. To discover your unclaimed property, the Illinois State Treasurer's Office is safeguarding more than $2 billion in unclaimed property belonging to millions of Illinois residents. Visitors can stop by the Village Hall at 14240 West 151st Street on Friday, February 3rd from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. to check and see if they have any unclaimed property. For more information, contact the Village Hall at 708-301-632 or visit www.omerglen.org. The Village Hall will be closed Monday, January 16th. It's going to be normal business hours, but they're getting the offices all straight. Everything will resume on Tuesday, January 17th. Recycling holiday decorations. Holiday string lights can be recycled at the Village Hall throughout the month of January. Mini lights, extension cords, rope lights, LED lights can be placed in a collection box located in the lobby during village hours, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. through 4:30 p.m. Natural Christmas trees may be recycled by dropping them off at the Homer Township Highway Department, 14400 West 151st Street, through January 8th. For regular disposal, natural Christmas trees may be placed at your curb on your regularly scheduled waste pickup day. And I want to put out a congratulations to Chief Chris Lacacius. He was installed last night, and he is our new fire chief. So, happy to have Okay, Bob. All right, we'll go to the trustees. Trustee Varian.
Just real quick report. I don't know what time that is.
They're not working.
You want to
I'll just talk about reporting for the Community Economic Development Committee. We had our monthly meeting last night. We discussed potential boundary agreements with whatever you just did.
Just once.
Testing.
Try it again.
Testing.
Can you hear me now? This one says media. This says podium. Try it.
We had our monthly meeting last night. The committee discussed potential boundary agreements with various neighboring municipalities. There was no action taken. One other quick update. I've been asked, I'm sure we've all been asked recently about the status of the Chipotle Starbucks and a tentative opening, and they are telling us it looks like sometime in March. So,
That's depressing.
yeah. So that's my update, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Costa. No report, Mayor. Trustee Rogers.
On behalf of the Public Safety Committee, just wanted to let people know that Homer Glen has once again been named one of the safest and most peaceful places to live in Illinois. And to quote the article, Homer Glen isn't that of an old town, but citizens already have a strong sense of community. The police force has nipped crime in the bud. It is a wonderful place to stargaze and has very little light pollution. So I believe this is, I'm not sure how many years in a row it is, but it's
3 or 4.
That's all I have.
Thank you. That's good to hear. Trustee Suisse.
Thank you, Mayor.
Just a few things, reporting for the Environment Committee. Requests for proposals regarding the spring replacement tree planting program in the right-of-ways will be mailed out in the next week or two. The next item, talking about stargazing, we are working on new dates for the 2017 stargazing event and should have more details by next month. We are also looking into the possibility of having the event here in Heritage Park. And one last item is the 2017 Earth Day Arbor Day event will take place on May 20th at Thomas Farm. We are looking for vendors and demonstrators that offer products or services that are in keeping with the environmental spirit of Earth Day. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Trustee Sweet. Trustee Cabrio?
No report, Mayor.
Okay, goes to the village treasurer. Payroll report?
No report, Mr.
Okay. Village clerk?
No report.
Village attorney?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Public safety officials?
No report.
Mike?
Since everybody's so brief, I'll make mine. Just a couple things to report. Right now we're in the process of buying some trucks. With all this, put our money into the building. We fell behind, 27 vehicles. We can't just buy one a year and keep up. So we're that. King Road, we're done for the season. The road is open. I know we have some signage up there that's saying it's closed. Although there are 3 cuts in there, 2 are rather smooth. One is still being patched with gravel. We can't patch it at this time for a number of reasons. We'll monitor that. It's a C6, so it packs down pretty hard. It's not a loose gravel. So it continues through the season. We'll keep it dressed up as best we can. Again, the signs are up only to discourage a lot of commuter traffic, which that road sometimes sees. One of the things I want to talk about is tonight's one. We put a posting about tonight's weather. As you guys can hear right now, it's raining. We had some lightning out here. There's storms. The temperature will fall somewhere around 3, 4 in the morning. The temperature will fall before freezing, and it will begin to rain. It's an icy condition, and we don't know how to predict that. I think if I were to wait to call the crews out, the situation could be as bad as they couldn't get here because of ice. So we're going to have the crews report at 4 o'clock and just stay on duty, perhaps man the routes and then have the salt trucks out there for if something happens. Just have everybody be safe. I tell everybody that an iced over road doesn't look much worse or many different than a wet one. And a lot of things that people do when they walk an icy road, on icy sidewalks is put their hands in their pocket. It's probably the worst thing you can do because then you can't make it fall. So I hope our citizens are safe. We'll be out, and if we need to be called earlier, the police will do that. Anybody have any questions?
I have a question. On occasion I'll come across people who say, oh, Bell Road was so icy, and why didn't you guys plow? And I direct them to contact you guys because I think that they need clarification on what roads we actually control and which ones we don't. Because most of the ones that they're all complaining about, we don't control, the county does. On your website, do you have a map of the roads that you guys are in charge of?
Yeah, I know we have a map on the website. We don't have so much a map, but we have a listing of roads. What roads are county roads, which roads are state roads, which roads are those roads that we maintain as the road district. And we definitely list the county and state roads. We do have a map. Perhaps now we're going into social media. Perhaps we should put it out there as well. We can just keep enforcing that. But you're right, a lot of those roads are not ours.
Yeah, well, 99% of the roads that people come to public safety about or anything else aren't roads that we control. I just think it would be nice, if you guys put it on your Facebook page or something, just to get it out there so they know who to contact and that it's not the village.
Well, and I don't mean to berate the county. They do a good job. They probably are not as conscious as we are. But one of the things you have to understand that when they are called out, not only does it take time for the crew to get in, their garages are probably 30, 40 minutes from here. So that adds to the time too. So you always have that gap when you have somebody servicing roads and they're so far. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Next is public comment. Anyone sign up to?
this year, like we all did last year. I have a little bit of a, it's not a dilemma, but I have a few questions, and I think maybe somebody should maybe be sent out to Lockport, and some questions might be able to be answered with this. Don't go by the pictures, because typically the horizon put one on the left is upside down, if you notice the arrows. It's got Arthur Avenue in a wrong spot. Anyway, here's where on the back of that paper is a few of the questions while I was watching the tape on TV last night. Groundwater. They're going to build this complex and from 355 all the way to Archer Avenue. There must have been 50 to 100 people there last night protesting they don't want it. By the end of the meeting, and by the time I got done watching this on TV, it was horrendous that, you know, and they're going to go through with it, I guess, and send it to this was just the plan commission that was on TV list. To me, it bothered me groundwater. Like behind Home Depot, they got all these little lakes and that, and half of them won't take fish. Now, why won't fish grow in them ponds is beyond me, other than they must be contaminated or something. I don't know. Also, all of this truck traffic now on the east side of the expressway, we already have all these truck terminals. Is them things pay more taxes than homes would with people living in them? I don't think so, but I don't know. Does the tax money their profit? What's the attraction that Lockport's going to take all of this property, 200 and some acres, and put in more trucking terminals right across the new ones we just had put in on our side of 355? Fumes, diesel. This goes right up against the wolf farm out there. That guy is, I mean, he's irate with this. He said it's, you know, with the fumes and everything, and we're specialists up there that talked about the fumes from that diesel could kill some of these animals he has. So he's going to blow, you know, his business is going to be blown. My main thing on the back of that gives you a few of the things that I wrote down while I was watching this. Fire department wanted a road going in from the new one location all the way to 151st Street. They said, the builder said he'd do it. But then the village of Lockport says, no, you're not going to do it. But for the fire, ambulances and stuff like that, you have to put a road in there. In other words, there's a lot going on here. My main concern though is we're just spent $23,000 for a study to help them build a sewer treatment plant, which is going to be in the millions, not hundreds of thousands. These millions of dollars now are going to be right to the, probably in the area up to the south of where these buildings are going to go up. We have to look into that, because if we're going to go and partner up with them on a sewer treatment plant, are we going to supply them buildings and all the people that are employed in these buildings and all of that with water and sewer? Who gets the money for it? Lockport. We don't get a penny, but we're going to help them build a sewer treatment plant. Sewer treatment plants, when I looked at it about 2.5 years ago, the cheapest one I saw built was like, I think it was $40 or $60 million. One was in Frankfurt, the other one was in Glen. Because you can't buy, you know, you can't build a decent one for less than, you know, 40 million. Well, all right. Lockport wants us to partner up with the water, Illinois American purchase, with the rest of the communities that are in with that. We have to look into this, what they're going to do. Who's going to have to pay the money to build that plant? And if their Lockport is going to reap the benefits, let them pay extra money for what they're going to take care of with the sewer treatment and stuff from these buildings and the people that are in them. Also, that's in Homer Township, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what the boundaries are on the west side there, other than I know Mike does work on the west side there somewhere. I don't know, because I don't know, I don't have a township map that tells me exactly what his boundaries are. Lights, roads, road maintenance, snow plowing, all of this stuff is gonna be, I'm not positive, but I think it might be included in these new buildings. That's the township again, and us. There's, like I say, just go through the thing on the back there and take a look at it, and then all of a sudden, it's just a few questions that should be answered before all of a sudden they bring this in front of the board, Lockport Village Board, and then all of a sudden they make decisions that are gonna probably test us on some of this stuff. And I mean, it's not cheap for us to wind up being included in something like this. Other than that, according to my records, we're going to have approximately 100 different subjects. We're going to wind up now, we made our last payment to the shopping mall at 143rd in Bell Road. So that means we are going to save our village $135,000 a year now for us. Is that right?
Not sure if it's the exact number, but yes, it will stay with the village.
Right, because the last payment was due 12/31/2000. Whoops, my mistake, 17.
Yeah.
That's next year. So next year, in December, will be the last payment that we make for them, and their gross profit then will go up to $2 million that we have paid them for being business owners. The only thing is, like I say, next December 31st, we're going to save $137,000 a year for us.
And we'll have the employees and services.
Right, and that'll even add to it. So, and I hope that we don't give them any more tax incentives with everything picking up the way it's been picking up. Because I did talk to the assessor, and every year they protest their taxes, so it's costing them a lot of money to research.
We don't give up anything around. We don't collect anything around.
So,
And as for the questions, Mike, you got a couple of those you want to answer?
Let's see, there was a couple of different things. So my understanding is the Lockport project's within Lockport's boundary, so I don't believe the services would fall onto the township from a road maintenance or plowing standpoint. My understanding is the property was already zoned from the 70s as industrial. So when it went through the plan commission process, it was tabled in a previous meeting, and it was brought back last evening. I believe they reduced the size of the development slightly. They increased some of the setbacks and screening on the development. It got recommended a 5-1 vote from the plan commission. The concern was if they turned down the item that they would be sued by the developer because they had certain rights based on the underlying zoning. I don't have a lot of comments on the different contamination issues or diesel issues. There's a lot of different background on that. A couple of the other things as far as lights and things like that, they're going to fall under Lockport standards, their design standards. Taxing, the property is going to be assessed at the same rate, 1/3, as it would be residential, commercial, industrial. So the benefit, probably from Lockport's standpoint, is a diversification of the product. They can get income tax from the employees that are working there, the employees theoretically might shop in the area, so they might get some revenue off that. A lot of this is obviously Lockport's item and Lockport's issue, so I would recommend that if you've got some concerns, we do communicate back and forth with Lockport, but I would recommend showing up at the Lockport's board meeting and express some of your questions there. And I think you had some questions on the sewer treatment plant. So the small study that we're doing is more of an assessment, a needs assessment of our area, Lockport and Romeoville. So there's no commitment on any expansions or development. It's really a needs assessment. And even if there was, we only have a very small component that would feed into any of their systems. So no matter what the expansion, the future expansions needs, ours would be based only on our needs. So it would be broken down by most likely acreage or territory. And I'll just make a guess, if ours is 10% of the territory, our commitment would be 10% of the expansion needs. So if the need is being driven by Lockport or Rockville, we will carry the share of those future expansions. But we've not even gotten to that stage. We're still looking at the assessment aspect. And there's no commitment, even if the assessment comes back that there's a future need that we have to commit any dollars. It's just to determine what the future might be. So very beginning stage.
Thank you. And like I said, it's just another, they're also talking, which I don't know, if part of Archer Avenue's included this, but Archer Avenue's got to be what, state road, county road?
State.
No idea. Anyway, they're going to widen that, they're talking about last night. 4 instead of 2, which is good. But like I say, all this costs money. And then all of a sudden, between the township and our highway department, which is the depot.
It shouldn't, that development shouldn't affect the highway department. Actually, in one sense, it would help the highway department from the taxes that are generated off those developments would go to the township, but their services aren't necessarily supplied by it. So for the township, it's actually a benefit from a tax perspective, because they'll get real estate taxes off those buildings, but won't have to supply services to those buildings.
In other words, none of this property is in Homer Township.
It might be in Homer Township, but it's incorporated within Lockport's jurisdiction, so it's within the city's jurisdiction, not an unincorporated township area. So service-wise, they don't have the same agreement that we do for the roads. So Lockport itself would handle, maintenance of the streets, maintenance of plowing and those things. The city of Lockport.
Well, we must do quite a bit of work out there because Mike, 2 or 3 months ago, gave me a check for $1 million. I don't know what the...
Not sure, yeah.
So...
Yeah, but we have no control of the buildings that they're going to, we're not really upset about them either, but there's nothing we can do about it.
All right, but I look into it when it comes to the sewer treatment plant because they're going to enlarge it and all they want us to pay most or pay part of it.
If we're paying part of this because we're going to be using it, because right now we can't get it to Illinois American Water.
This is just a first assessment stage, so we're talking years out and multiple assessments, so there'll be plenty of public meetings on any decisions being made. So this is just the very beginning stages.
Thanks.
Okay. That's it for public comments. Future legislation and action items. Is there a motion to approve resolution number 17-001, resolution approving the full release of the remaining development guarantee for the Victorian Village development in the amount of $540,630.48? So, Trustee Costa.
I'll second.
Trustee Suisse. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Trustee Varian?
Aye.
Trustee Suisse?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers? Aye. Trustee Cabrio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye. Motion carries. Number 2, AED ordinance. Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 17-001, an ordinance requiring automated external defibrillators, AEDs, and certain occupancies within the village of Homer, Glen?
So
Trustee Cabrio?
Second.
Trustee Rogers? Discussion?
This is something that Public Safety Committee has been working on for, I would say, probably about 18 months. And it started with an unfortunate incident within the village where, unfortunately, someone was in one of the buildings and passed away. So it started with a spearhead from that with the prior safety committee. So since then, this past April, we have a new safety committee. and we've kind of continued on from there. It's gone back and forth between the attorneys and the village manager and public safety. Brought it to Brian's committee. Brian's committee was in support of it. The chamber brought it to the chamber. The chamber was in support of it. In the basic concept of it was to start at large and similar to how they did with fire sprinklers many years ago. Not everybody had them. They started in the bigger buildings, and as time went by, moved it along. This is the way that this ordinance reads now. If no new buildings were built in the next year, it would affect 3 different businesses, because 4, but one unfortunately has it. AEDs are very reasonably priced. On the high end, probably around $3,000, at the low end, $1,200. We have one at our office that we got at Costco for $1,200. I've asked both of the fire chiefs to come. Both of them have been involved in the process of putting this ordinance together. They've reached out to other fire departments surrounding the area, one of which already has this in place, another of which is looking to put it into place. So I would just like to ask for Chris or Todd if you could just kind of fill in the technical details that I don't know as a fire person.
Both come up. All 3 of you. This way we can answer any questions.
Like Beth had said, we had started 18 months ago because there was a death where an individual did pass away, and from that we had found out that he was what is considered in VFib, and VFib is a shockable rhythm, and that's where the AED comes into play. And we started having the conversation. Romeoville had put the AED ordinance in place, and they've had good success with it and having saves in their community. So we started talking about this concept because as a community, we require sprinklers, we require extinguishers, we require these things for businesses, and those things are good, but now we have an opportunity to save a life. Because when I go in this community and I see these AEDs hanging here, I know that that's going to save a life someday because it's here. Someone goes down, if you're trained, you can use it. It's there for you to use to possibly save this life. I asked the Orland Fire Chief to come here today. They've had many saves in Orland with AEDs. And they are also looking to what we're doing here and see if they can incorporate it in their village. And you know what? We're known for, like Tree City USA, we're known for the lighting ordinance. We're known about being conscious about the environment. This is this village's chance to say, you know what? We're looking at safety now, and we're going to make this a safe community for everyone. We're looking, you know, just try this out, see how it works. Like the lighting ordinance, you've changed it several times. You changed it when you said, hey, we have to fix something. If we have to go back and look at this and make a change, we will do that. But we have to start somewhere. And we feel by having this 100,000 square foot, this is a good start for us. And come in and encourage other businesses to do that. One of the things that we're going to do is if a business buys an AED, we will teach them free CPR. If they get that AED in place, me and Todd have talked, we will go in there and team up and we will teach that place CPR because it's important to us. Let's be known as a safe community. Let's be known as somewhere, you know what, cutting edge. We were cutting edge with the lighting ordinance. Let's be cutting edge with the AEDs.
I don't have much to add to that. Just to continue on, AEDs we do know is a life-saving device. We carry in our vehicles. We have very fancy ones in our ambulances. They do save lives. The most recent one that I remember was about a year ago. Lamont Library had one they had to save. I had it on our Facebook page a while back. It was a save. Just to clarify a little bit what you talked about, you don't necessarily have to be trained in them. They will train you as you go, and actually we used Beth as a
You can say it.
guinea pig. And she did very well doing it without having any prior knowledge. We kind of put her on the spot and she did very well. So it is a very simple device to use.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Mike Schofield. I was a former fire chief here in Homer Township, and I worked closely with this board to develop the fire codes that we have in place. And this group here has been very proactive when it comes to public safety. Some people might say we're adding too much to the businesses, being intrusive, but we're not. An AED, unlike a fire sprinkler, sprinklers are there to save the building contents and get people out quickly. AED is there when somebody goes into cardiac arrest. I've been a paramedic 37 years. I've seen many people die, and I tell you, the families would give anything for an opportunity to have a device that was present that would have saved a life. And I'll tell you this, CPR and AEDs give a person the best chance of survival. Without them, their chances go down greatly. Now, if someone's not breathing for 4 to 6 minutes, the likelihood of them coming back to any type of function is very rare. So it's important that an AED is available. Now, a building over 100,000 square feet, those buildings are making a lot of money. It doesn't cost a lot, but there's a lot of foot traffic in and out every day. Every day. And it's happened once out here already where something has collapsed. And it'll happen again. I mean, Homer Glen is a growing community. As this area grows, there are going to be more people in, they're going to come shop, they're going to eat. The instance of this happening again is going to increase. An AED is a cheap device. And with these two fire districts saying they're going to train people for CPR. And the advantage of that, if they train people in CPR, when those people go home, if something happens in their community, in their house, they're going to save a life. So by training the people that work here, it goes far beyond Homer Glen. And this ordinance is something that is very important, I think, to the community and the people who live here. And I hope you look at it favorably. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Well, I just have a question. It says here in this one section regarding training, it says no person may operate one of those devices unless they complete a course of instruction. Is that true? Because
where are you reading that from? I'm sorry.
I think that part of part of an ordinance here that we're looking at, or the supplement page.
That was copied off the Romeoville ordinance, and that was that if there's a trained individual in the building, they can use it. Now, does that stop someone from grabbing an AED and using it? No, it doesn't. But we're telling you, with your ordinance, we're recommending that when you go to the businesses, this is for the trained user. It is easier to use than a fire extinguisher. We have a fire extinguisher in this building right now. How many are trained to use it? Not many, right? But it's there. It's there. It's not stopping you from using it, but it's there for you to use. Well, how our ordinance reads is, yes, it's there for the trained user. So if they want to train their employees, they can. There's nothing saying that they have to use the AED. There's nothing saying that you have to use a fire extinguisher either. But we're saying that if you do use it, it's for the trained individual.
The AEDs are designed to be used by the unskilled person.
You see them at all airports. You'll see them at Great America. People have used them with no training whatsoever. And as you know, we used Beth as an example, and we brought one in and we said, follow the instructions. And talked to her and walked her through the process.
She talks to you, so if
told you what to do.
Down, you just turn it on and it tells you what to do, and you just listen to what it's saying and you just do it instead of...
There's one right there.
Yeah, it was actually in the ordinance, and the only thing I would add is I sort of agree with your comment. Maybe you should say, it is recommended that unless successfully completing the course, maybe it doesn't matter. I'm just...
Well, I think subsection C addresses that with the nor shall this ordinance limit any good Samaritan protections provided by Illinois state law.
Very good.
So I think that covers that.
I can make one comment. The reason why I think that's in there is Illinois law does not provide protection under the Good Samaritan Act for AEDs unless you have been trained. Now, I don't doubt you that it is something that anybody can do. I haven't been trained, I could probably use it. However, if I do use it and I screw something up, I don't have protection. I can be sued, and the Good Samaritan law does not cover me because I haven't been trained.
I understand that. When Joe did research, Joe found more research on people being sued that didn't have AEDs in place than people that had used AEDs. And I understand your point with the Good Samaritan law. but we tried looking at, because that was one of your comments for public safety, so we started doing some research on that.
And also
So
liability issues, we did find that due to people not having AEDs available at their location, then having them.
I think the point that is being made is the reason we drafted the language that way is more of a legal technicality to say if we're requiring it in businesses, we're recommending that the people using it are trained, and now that, you know, it's not user-friendly and those things, it's more of a technicality.
I think they're a good idea as well.
Just to add too, I reached out to the managers of the 4 stores. I had gotten, Meyer obviously has one already in place. The manager from Menards, I kind of went through the whole program with him, had asked him if he could contact corporate if they had any issues with us bringing this forward, and he never got back to me. I know the one in Romeoville does have one, the Menards there, so I don't think it's an issue with their corporate. The other businesses did not get back to me.
Okay, I have a couple of comments. First, I want to go on the record for saying, I'm 100% behind this thing. I mean, the concept, and I'm going to explain that. For somebody that had a heart attack 20 years ago, I was very fortunate that an AED did not have to be used on me, mainly because I had excellent paramedics at my house, so I got to them very fast, quickly, and woke up chief locations, I think on both occasions, when I had 2 issues. But the issue, the other issue that I have, some of the issues I have, number one, we're going with 100 square foot stores. I do understand we want a starting place, but I was on the safety committee when this came about. And Chris, I think we had a discussion one night, and I said I would support this for a couple of reasons. Number one, my main reason on the support of this would be that if we're going to mandate businesses to have these for the safety of our community, I think that the village should put in funds to help the businesses to purchase these. I think it would be a great partnership between the community, the businesses, and the board to show how committed we are to safety too. We're not only telling the business they have to have it, we're willing to put up some money to help you pay for that. The other thing too is, at many times in this community, you go to a number of our businesses, and I'm going to say restaurants and sports bars, where we could have more people in those establishments than we have in the, I'm going to call them big boxes, but there are great stores in our community, especially on big game nights or in the mornings for breakfast. You go to some restaurants where you have 100, 150 people sitting there eating, and or in the evening, people having a great time with residents and family, having some cocktails and food. I would like to see this reached out a little bit further into an occupancy, and I think that's what we originally talked about when we started this discussion, more of an occupancy than 100 square feet. I think it's important for some of the businesses here, or for the residents to know if they're in an establishment where you're going to have large groups of people on a regular basis, there is protection there for you there. So I would like to see those 2 things. I'm adamant about the village. This is my real personal feeling. I will support this if the village board agrees to paying for, I'd say, 50% on the cost of these with the businesses.
They have a year to comply. If Myers or Menards can't come up with $1,200 a year, they could come to us and ask for a variance. They would, at that point, we could address it. I think to put it out there to say, we have these funds, especially because the goal here is to look at the effectiveness of this. I'm confident this is going to be something that's life-saving and in grow this to where we do get to some of these places that you're concerned about. And then you're looking at, big dollars. And at that point, if the mom and pop restaurant says, $1,200 is a big deal for me, if I can't come up with it in that year, they can come to us, we can ask for a variance. If that is the case, and then at that time revisit whether or not that's something we want to put into the budget.
I think we can use funds from the video gaming community. I think it's a perfect place to use money for. It's for safety of all of our residents in our community. If we're going to be serious about this, let's start off on the right foot. Why should the businesses, bigger stores that can afford it, say, okay, well, I have to buy one because of the ordinance, but then in a year, or in 6 months, if this trickles down, I'm using the word trickle down to smaller businesses, that they're possibly helped with this. Let's start off on the right foot, and let's show the commitment to this program, and come up with, and fund half of AED. We may get more businesses without me having the ordinance in place. They'll say, well, if the village is going to do this, I want to get mine in my establishment to protect my patients too. So
Right, initially, as we're talking about 100,000 square feet, just, and, for the cost for our fire departments to teach that CPR is way more than the $1,200 that business is paying. But we're making that investment in that community because we feel this is such an important thing for this community. So we're making that initial investment. We did talk about funding. We had talked about our committee, and a couple of concerns were, do we do it forever, or is this just for the first 2 years, who jumps on board? We had talked about that a little bit in depth, and we wanted to see, first of all, if businesses were going to have a problem with it. And like Trustee Rogers just said, we put that part in the ordinance where if there's a problem, they can come to us and say, I can't afford it, and then we can see how many of these businesses are affected. And then we said, could we do it to the long term? Could we do this down the road? And then we weren't sure of, was there going to be a trickle effect for other things, where then they asked, what are you doing about this when this comes up? Are you helping us fund this? Are you helping us fund that? And then I went back to the lighting ordinance, and we talked about that a little bit, and there was no funding for that. There was no mechanism for that. But I want you to understand that we did talk about ways to fund this. There are grants out there. If you go on websites, there are grants out there for AEDs. So I want you to know that we did talk about that, and we tried to see a reason how we could figure something out for that community. But we felt that that was a decision at your board's level, because we didn't know how long you would want to provide AEDs or do matching funds or do something like that. And then we came to the thing of, are we going to tell them what AED to buy if we're doing matching funds? And then are we just going to go to one vendor? So we think that, instead of continuing another 6 months, because we had worked on this for 18 months, we wanted to bring it to you guys. Let's see what these businesses say. If they start coming to you and say, hey, this is a funding problem, we don't have enough money for this, then we can say they can ask for a variance. Like, no different than anyone comes to you right now and says, I have a hardship, and they come to you and ask for a variance.
There's not going to be maintenance costs for these, correct? Recertifications?
There's pads, batteries.
So I understand where Trustee Costa's going with that. I agree at some point in the future, I wouldn't want to take on that endeavor today.
Right.
I think we start large and go granular as we grow into it. That's just my thought, but I'd hate to, if we have 1,000 businesses, it's $1.5 million if they're $1,500 a unit. So I think it's a large number.
So we're saying to the businesses now, they have to foot the bill, but in the future, we may help other businesses. Try to, if you're going to start a program, let's start it. And I like Chris, excuse me for a minute. I like your chief, I'm sorry, not just Chris, but chief. I like your thoughts of saying, for the first 2 years, anybody even voluntarily that wants to do it, that we will, assist in funding. And then after that, it's on your own, no matter what the ordinance says. I like that idea. Now that gives an incentive to the business to say, look, it may come to me, it's probably going to come to me in the next year and a half anyway. If they're willing to fund it and help me fund this thing, I'm going to get one now. I'm going to put it in my business, possibly save some return.
Making it clear that we're not going to maintain them going forward.
But I agree, maintenance would be on your own.
Yeah.
I agree with Trustee Costa. We did talk about this years ago now. And if we did 50%, we had talked about it because when the gaming came out, that would be the fund that we would pull it out of, because basically the gaming profits are for safety. That's how we pay for the octagonals. So it's something that we do have to discuss with the board, because this has not been brought up before, so I don't want to make a decision right now. But we'll bring it up, we'll talk about it.
And it is something that can be amended to this ordinance. So this is like, again, this is the beginning part of the ordinance. We can, as a group, look at it, like we have all of the other ordinances that need tweaking and adding and things like that. This has been coming here for 18 months. So this isn't the first time that this board or anybody else has seen it. This is a good starting point and something that we can build on. And if building on, once we look at the numbers, or maybe even it's a marketing thing, maybe it's not part of an ordinance, maybe we'll say, listen, we implemented this new ordinance that affects these 100,000 square foot people, but
if you are wanting, if your business is wanting to partake in this and be a part of this, this is what we're willing to do for a one-year thing. It doesn't have to be an ordinance to do it. That could be a marketing thing that we do in conjunction with the fire department. You know, it's a good partnership type of a thing to work with both of the chiefs and to build on that. This is a bare bones basic starting point, which is where we need to be. And then this is something that, you know, public safety will continue to look at and meet with, you know, Orland. It'll be interesting to see what you guys do. I'm very interested to see that because you have a lot more businesses out there than we do. And we'll build on it and we'll tweak it. And if there's errors, we'll recognize this and fix them.
I make 2 comments about the dollar amount. If you go with a dollar amount, what I would recommend is this. Like Beth had said, it could be a $1,200 unit or a $3,000. Make a cap on it, saying not to exceed this amount if you're going to split the cost with that business. Second of all, you do not purchase the AED. They purchase the AED, get whatever brand they want, they bring it to you to verify they bought an AED. That way you're not in the business of telling them what AED to get. So those would be 2 recommendations if you're going to go down that road of funding that. But I agree with Trustee Rogers. Approve the motion today. Let's move forward. And let's say part of this is we're going to come up with some type of funding mechanism. And I think it's a good idea to reach out to the public and say, you know what, we're doing this. This is part of a team. This community is working together to make this a better and safer community. And Orland Fire is here today, and you know they have a huge commercial. And for them to come here today and say we're looking at what Homer Glen is doing in their businesses because we're trying to implement the same thing, I think that speaks volumes. That speaks volumes of what we're trying to do here, and we're leading. You know, we're in the forefront. Thank you.
Just quickly to remind everybody, Romeoville, their threshold for requiring AEDs is an occupancy of 50 people. So a lot of their businesses out there are affected by this requirement. And I'm talking to a gentleman out there from the fire district. They haven't had any businesses say, we're not going to come to the community because you require AEDs. And they don't fund them either.
When you read the it's not allowed. But what Trustee Hester said is true. If we're going to force it upon them, and that's pretty much what we are doing, and I understand it's something that we should be doing, I don't have a problem spending, you know, like you just got done saying, there's now 3 different models. I don't want to be telling here, we're buying the cheapest one, we're buying the most expensive one. So
yeah, I think that's a good program that public safety we can work on.
Yeah.
A good marketing program.
We can approve it tonight, but then discuss the funding of it.
Absolutely.
Because right now, at least it gets the ball rolling so we get these things in there.
I'm sure, I'm not speaking out of turn, but I feel within maybe 60 days, 2 months, we could come up with something for this board, a recommendation. Take work with the village manager because obviously that requires funds. And I also agree that we put a time limit on it. Within 2 years, come to us, we're going to help you out, and after that, you know, we abide by the ordinance.
I would just say, so I agree in concept. And anytime we're adding additional regulations to businesses, I think we need to be very cautious. My concern with us contributing to that is setting a precedent that we're going to help fund life safety regulations in this town. And if we do it on this, where does it go from there? So I agree in concept for sure. I think, again, this is a new thing, right? Romeoville was sort of the first ones through the wall.
Correct.
Like Joe, I've talked to officials in Romeoville through the committee process, of which the Economic Development Committee was broadly supportive of this. But through that research, had many of these conversations of what's been the response. They started large, they amended, made it an occupancy of 50, and the pushback has been, according to the mayor and officials in Romeoville, almost nothing. So I would just say my hesitancy on us contributing any funding to this would be setting that precedence of, you know, you can have a business that comes in and says, well, I can't afford the fire sprinkler system. Can you guys kick in? So I agree. I also think being sensitive to the costs incurred to businesses, I think, I guess maybe let me clarify one thing. I believe the chamber is supportive of this. And have we heard any opposition from the business community on this issue? We didn't at our committee. I'm not sure public safety did. So I guess with that thought, I would say, one, I'm in agreement of let's institute this, right? This has been a lengthy public process. We have not had opposition from the business community in town, and in fact, the chamber is supportive of it as drafted. But two, to address, I think, some of the funding issues, I think it's an opportunity to maybe be creative and maybe encourage the chamber to work with other area chambers for, sort of the Costco purchasing power type of thing, right? Where bulk buying, if Orland decides to institute something similar, and I think as the cost of these continue to come down, similar to any electronics, we just continue to see the prices come down. I think these are things that, we're going to look back 5 years from now and sort of laugh at this, that these are going to be common in homes, not just in businesses. So I would say I'm comfortable voting to institute this tonight as is. This is what's gone through the committee processes. There's been broad support. There's been broad support from the business community in town. And I just think there's potentially other ways to explore whether we at some point look at funding or get more creative and work with some of the private entities to help bring down the prices to make them affordable. And I would say to the lower occupancy, because I think that's another great point. The bars and where we have lots of people congregated, I think we can start here, but also work on a public safety PR campaign to encourage those businesses. And I think part of that is what's in our packet when you talk about some of the research that Joe's done on the liability, that there's been more lawsuits on various entities that haven't had them, and someone has died, and successful jury verdicts the other way. And I think that's something we can use to encourage right now from a PR standpoint, not a regulation standpoint, those other businesses in town.
I concur with your thoughts, Trustee Varian, and I think we should take a look at what you said, different funding or different ideas, and also look at the occupancy. Because what you said, Trustee Costa, it's true. A lot of the bars and restaurants, sometimes they'll have quite a few 100, 200 people. So I think this is a good start.
So, can we vote?
Yeah, we'll take a vote on this. So, you've already seconded, so we'll take a roll call.
Trustee Costa?
Just a quick question. I'm going to say yes to it, but with the understanding that committee is going to look at a funding, some kind of funding mechanism.
We're going to look at the whole program as a whole and look at the funding and see the logistics of it.
Right. And look at other incentives that the village has instituted in its community to businesses on other things. We can talk about that later. My vote is yes.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
I say aye too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you guys for
Thank
taking the
you.
time to come in. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I just want to mention one other thing. I want to thank Joe Baber. He's spent a lot of time on this, made a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails, a lot of research. So thank you, Joe. And also the attorneys. You guys were really great in getting back to us in a timely manner so that we were able to meet all of our meeting deadlines and stuff. So we appreciate that.
Okay.
Real quick, I just appreciate that essentially the argument was, if Beth can do it, anyone can do it.
Okay, let's go to number 3. Right-of-way ordinance. Is there a motion to approve ordinance number 17-002, ordinance regulating activities and maintenance in public right-of-ways located in the village of Homer Glen?
So
Trustee Caprio? Second. Trustee Costa. Discussion.
I did have a question here. Okay, it was saying some of the items or activities that's happening in right ways. If you were saying something about maybe mailboxes and structures and boulders and things. If it is currently there, are we moving forward, or if we're going to look at?
I've talked to Highway Commissioner DeVivo on this. That we do have some issues out there currently that are safety issues, sightline issues. So I think over time what we will do is evaluate certain situations and deem it either a safety issue or not with sightlines or traffic signage, if it's blocking signage or pedestrian walkways or things like that, and may reach out to those residents and see if we can get that issue resolved.
So there's no grandfathering?
No.
There is no grandfather, but the mailbox portion of that, the current mailboxes that do not comply with the United States Postal Service standards, those will be allowed to remain, and if they were needed to be replaced, that's where they would have to be brought up to the current standard.
So still the thing grandfather would be mailboxes, but then everything else you'll take a look at.
Correct, and we would be putting that in all the new building packets, so we got that information out to new residents and home builders.
This is another item that's been through public safety a couple of times. There was, I think what came up about it is there was this big, huge mailbox that was put in right away, just gets in the way of snow plowing and things like that. After the person was told not to put it there, built it anyway, like on a weekend. And so it kind of started with that, and one of the things that we said is, no, we're not going to go tearing out people's mailboxes. But if it's in a program where we're doing the road improvements, and those mailboxes are coming out, and they go back in, they have to go back in the right way. Mr. DeVivo, I'm correct in saying that, right? That's the direction that we were saying. If we take it out and it's in the wrong spot, when it goes back in, it needs to go back in what we consider to be the right spot.
My policy previously has been that when we address a road as an arterial road, where speeds are 30, 35, 40 miles an hour, and there's a brick mailbox there, I always ask them to take it down. If they won't take it down, then I will. I, in the past, have tolerated brick mailboxes in subdivisions. The speeds are slower there. I don't want to say they're safe, but they're not as dangerous. But if you have a resident on a slippery road sliding in some of these brick mailboxes we have, or children in the car, people get hurt. If you hit a brick mailbox at 35, 40 miles an hour a year, it's detrimental. So I'm not going knocking on doors to take the mailboxes out. But if I'm going to improve the road and work on it, then I have to address that issue as part of that improvement. That has been my philosophy.
Fire department was part of this too, because they had to respond to a couple of incidences where things were, for lack of a better word, illegally built or placed in the right of way. Those accidents wouldn't have happened if those illegal. I keep saying mailboxes, but there were some other things that we found in the right of ways. But these mailboxes that are being put there, they're not just the little breakaway ones, the $25 Home Depot ones. They're huge, brick, huge monument lights. Sometimes they have little planters on them, and it's just it needs to be addressed. But again, it's nothing that we're going on a witch hunt for. Like we said, we're not going to start knocking on doors and pulling out mailboxes.
Recently, I run across a situation. I got a phone call from a resident where they were planting trees in the right of way, and it was right on a corner, and they were putting a big evergreen tree directly by a stop sign. So you couldn't see past this evergreen at a T intersection. And I obviously stopped them, but situations like that really need to be looked at. And somehow regulated.
We're looking into that right now, just with some of the streets that are in the village.
And over time, in the package, there's been no real regulations. And some of the things years ago that were small trees have now grown without any control, and they're into the street. I mean, we got some that are hanging well into the street and affect traffic, parking, things like that.
Okay, any other questions?
Just to clarify, there's no permitting, right? There's no permitting.
There may be, because we need to have a process for record keeping, and it gives us the ability, if somebody wants to put something in that we may allow that's being done properly, and this will give us that mechanism.
I guess maybe specific to mailboxes, right? If I'm going to put up a new mailbox, I have to come in and get a permit?
No.
Okay.
you know, that you just would need to follow the regulations.
Okay, and it's an
We're pretty in
enforcement
tune to
issue.
what is out there as far as mailboxes when new ones go up. Certain things, if they wanted to put it in the right of way, would have to be permitted, and we would make sure it was done correctly.
Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye. Motion carries. Number 4, animal control intergovernmental agreement. Is there a motion to approve an intergovernmental agreement with the County of Will for the provision of animal control services? It is understood this agreement is for a 3-year period.
I so move.
I second.
Trustee Sweet, Trustee Rogers, discussion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Caprio?
Aye.
Trustee Costa?
Aye.
Trustee Barry?
Aye.
Trustee Sweet?
Aye.
Trustee Rogers?
Aye.
Old business. Is there any old business? Is there any new business? Is there a motion to adjourn? Oh, wait. We have an executive session. You're going to tell me that was on that last page. Next item is executive session. Is there a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing litigation? After executive session, we will come back on.
Any or potential.
And